One early morning, Edward the Blue Engine had just arrived at Barrow in Furness. He had been taken away from the Wellsworth branch line for a little bit, and had pulled a long freight train to Barrow in Furness, where it will be assigned to go to London. Since it will be a while for Edward to go back to Vicarstown, Edward had decided to visit an old friend. On one siding at Barrow in Furness lay an old-fashioned looking steam locomotive, one Edward had not seen in a very, very long time, an engine he held a special connection to. "Hello, Journess, how are you doing?" The Furness Railway K1 looked up. Well, Edward. It's been a long time since I've seen you," he said, a bit shy at first. You see, Journess is the only remaining survivor of the Furness Railway K1, and was supposed to be scrapped in 1965. But he was saved by Edward, and now is working at the Sodor Heritage Railway just on the outskirts of Barrow in Furness. This line only runs to Vicarstown, and he was going to be sent to Sodor pretty soon to work alongside his cousin, Edward, the engine who saved him. "Oh yes, it has been a very long time, Journess. I haven't seen you since 1966. How are you doing today?" "Oh, you know, sitting here, sitting there, sitting everywhere. I've been just been pushing and pulling some heritage trains. I met Tornado a day ago. He was very kind." "Ah, yes, a pleasant chap he is. So tell me, what have you been up to? Are you happy you'll be going to Sodor pretty soon?" "Yeah, I am. But is Sir Tom Hatt a nice man?" "Oh, yes, he is. He's the one that keeps us alive. And I'm the one who kept you alive, cousin." The K1 smiled. "Aw, how sweet. Now, what work will I be doing on Sodor, Edward?" "Ah, that's what I've been wanting to tell you, Journess. I just talked to Sir Tom Hatt a few days ago, and I was wondering if you will work with me on the Wellsworth branch." "The Wellsworth branch? You mean you have a branch line?" "Oh yes, I work on the Wellsworth branch line, and that is my new home. I just been relocated out of Timid Sheds, but I'm scheduled to go back there once a new engine arrives. And maybe you can be that new engine to work on the Wellsworth branch. And there's some other engines there too." "Oh really? Like what?" "Well, there's Boko, the metric diesel. He's a really kind fellow, and would love to work with you. And then there's Derek. Well, Derek, he can be a bit of a trouble sometimes due to his teething troubles. He sometimes breaks down." Journess frowned. A broken down diesel? Tom Hatt does keep some interesting engines on his railway, does he? "Yep, he sure does. And then there are the China Clay twins, Bill and Ben. Yeah, those two are a bit of a handful. They can play tricks on some engines, but not me nor Boko. We know how to take care of them. And from your experience, Journess, I bet you can handle them just as well." You know me too well, Edward. I have dealt with engines plenty of times that are cheeky, and twins, well, they're just my caliber." "Well, that's good. I knew I could trust on you, cousin." "Yeah, well, Edward, can I ask you something?" "What is it, Journess?" "Edward, you've been to places, right?" "Yeah, I've been to places. What do you mean?" "Have you ever been to America?" Edward pondered for a moment. "Why, yes. I visited the United States back in 2000, and then 2001 I visited the Wintris Island on the Indian Valley Railway. Why, you ask?" Well, in 1997, I was at Burness and Furness Sheds, and that's when and I saw something that I never thought I've ever seen. and it was after a good friend of my driver died. And a diesel was also scrapped on the same day. But something happened that was really weird. What happened? Well, one night, I was in Burns and Finesse sheds where I thought I heard a whistle. It wasn't a British whistle like mine. It was an American whistle. A beautiful whistle. It was a shrill, high-pitched whistle, if I could remember, and it echoed around the valley. It was very beautiful to hear. Edward's face fell. Continue. The Furness Railway K1 was a bit nervous. Well, after I heard the whistle, I heard a bell ringing, and a large American steam locomotive pulled up next to me, steam hissing from all sorts of places. I could tell it was American because of the headlamp and the oval size of the boilers. However, she had a really weird wheel arrangement. Well, there was a lot of steam, so I couldn't see it clearly, but I think it was a 686 wheel arrangement, if I recount it right. Edward's frown deepened. Oh, was she a beautiful engine? A beautiful headlamp and a beautiful body to begin with. Don't tell anyone I said that. The engine was painted jet black with white stripes, and some red in some places. She had large driving wheels, outlined in white, and she had the longest tender I'd ever see. Was there any way to identify the American engine? Well, I looked at her number plate below her headlight, and it said 1882, and on her long tender, the letters WC were on them, painted in gold, in cursive writing too. Edward was amazed. Did the engine say anything to you? Well, she was the tallest locomotive I've ever seen in my life. She was huge. But then she looked down at me and smiled, and said, "Don't be afraid. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to comfort you and someone else." And then she blew her sharp, shrill, beautiful whistle, and she puffed away. But that's not the weird thing. What was that? Journes was astonished that Edward would listen to him. The fact was that the engine was pulling a lot of coaches. I counted 700 American wooden-like coaches in total. 700 coaches, eh? I asked a lot of people around me if they had seen the engine, but they couldn't. Actually, they said they didn't see anything at all, and I was confused. The engine was so tall and massive they could have seen her, but they didn't. And a few days later, I saw her again, flying past me during the night. She was going so fast that the entire 700-car long train only took around, 3 to 4 minutes to completely pass by me. Man, was she a beautiful engine, but I haven't seen her since. Edward pondered. Cousin, I have seen the same engine. You what? Said Journes. Oh yes. In the States, a lot of the engines over there told me about this legendary ghost train, and I have seen her for myself. Big engine, tallest engine you've ever seen and I ever seen, 686 wheel arrangement, 1882 number, WC cursive writing on her tender, and the 700-car long train, and the speed I can imagine. Journes was amazed. I've also heard her whistle many times before, but I've never seen her since that second encounter. Who was the engine? Well... That's the whistle, said Jerness. Yes, it is, said Edward. Jerness, my dear cousin, what you have just told me is that you have witnessed an unspeakable engine. Jerness, you had witnessed the legendary engine of the United States of America that always comes around the time when someone dies, or back then, when the hobos of the United States told stories of a death car that carried it with them their lives and their souls. An engine that travels at an astounding speed. A legend goes that the engine traveled so fast, it arrived at its destination 1 hour before it even departed. A train that is said to have run up into space and is still traveling to this very day. An engine that many folklore of the United States has become particularly known of. 700 cars long, 1,200 feet long. The legend. Who was that engine? I cannot say, as this engine had told me to keep it a secret until a certain time has come. A time will come. Can you at least give me a hint? My dear friend, I gave you all the hints that you needed. This train is faster than it should be. This train is 700 cars long, 1,200 feet long. It is a legendary train that has rocked over the nation of the United States. I think I must be going. My train's getting ready. Oh, okay. Bye, Edward. I hope to see you on Sodor pretty soon. Goodbye, Jerness. I hope to see you soon, too. That gosh darn cannon. What was that? Nothing, cousin. Okay, I gotta go. Goodbye. Well, okay then. Bye-bye. But as Edward puffed away with his train, Jerness began to think of who this engine might be. No, it couldn't be. Is it? But I shall not ruin a future story, my dear viewers. And that is up for you to decide who this legendary American ghost train is.
She's from Tennessee, she's long and she's tall. She came down from Birmingham on the Wabash Cannonball. Listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as she glides along the woodland or the hills and by the shore. If a mighty rush of the engine, hear those lonesome hobos call, traveling through the jungle on the Wabash